Welcome back to the broadcast. This is Newsline. Tonight, less than 48 hours to the Machakos senatorial by-election. A big move with potential far-reaching implications in Ukambani politics. Initiated from State House, Nairobi, a decision has been made for the Maendeleo Chap-Chap to drop out of Thursday's mini-poll in what is seen as a handshake-powered masterstroke to dim the lights of William Ruto-backed United Democratic Movement, UDA. Let's begin there, where the Maendeleo Chap-Chap candidate in that by-election, that is former Cabinet Minister Mutua Katuku, has withdrawn his candidature. Maendeleo Chap-Chap party leader, Machakos Governor Dr. Alfred Mutua, saying that the decision was arrived at after a meeting of party leaders who support the handshake. Listen. It just came in like about a couple of hours ago. We're trying to locate that soundbite of the governor of Machakos, the party leader of Maendeleo Chap-Chap, speaking outside State House, Nairobi. Listen.
Maendeleo Chap-Chap party extends its goodwill to His Excellency the President Uhuru Kenyatta, to the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, and other BBI partners by withdrawing its candidate from the forthcoming Machakos senatorial by-election. It is our expectation that in the same spirit, our partners will reciprocate our goodwill. Finally, to our supporters, we know you've been ready to unanimously vote for our candidate, and we thank you. You've worked hard, you've campaigned, you've been out there campaigning because you know we are on an agenda of Chap-Chap development. The decision we have made today is a strategic and tactical decision made in the best interests of our members, our supporters, and our future plans.
All right, we want to get more information, insights from Dr. Alfred Mutua, Machakos Governor and party leader of Maendeleo Chap-Chap. He was not able to make it to studio tonight, but he joins us via way of phone. Thank you, Mr. Governor, for joining us. Let's start with what has just happened a couple of hours ago. What informed that decision?
Well, we look at it this way. This is a country where we have a culture of winner takes it all, of divisive politics, of people who are schooled in the old days. I think I can say the old days of Kanu, where it's all about dividing your people, fighting and all that. When you look at what happened just the other day, when we had the other by-elections in different parts of the country, we saw the chaos, we saw the people even walking naked, we saw tear gas, and we thought, really, is this the country that we want? Is this what we want? So when the President and Honorable Raila Odinga said that it would be better, instead of this push and pull, that one of us, because we are doing very well, we are basically equal, ourselves and the OIPA candidate, and we believe we are more organized to win. When they requested that some of us be able to speedway, we talked to Kalonzo Musyoka. I called Kalonzo Musyoka. He was very adamant that it was either his way or no way. Then we thought, well, wait a minute, let us do this for the country. Let us show that even as people from Ukambani, as Kenyans, we represent a new generation of leaders who can lead for the sake of unity and progress.
Correct to say, Mr. Governor, that this is a move by those of the handshake political inclination with an aim to lock out the party called UDA that has been linked with the Deputy President, William Ruto, in this particular by-election.
Maybe it is curing the problem we've seen, whereby people who are in the handshake go out there and fight furiously like enemies for a by-election seat. And we are thinking we're in the same team. We are playing in the same team, and our opponent is one. Our opponent is disunity in this country. It is abject poverty. It is a slowdown of the economy. It is a sense of desperation. Those are things that we need to fight. Yes, we've got UDA and other parties that are involved, but those are just bystanders. And we know those are parties formed for the sake of just disruption and stop development from flowing to our people. So we have to work as a team for the sake of our people.
All right, I have to ask you this. Are you not concerned that you're putting your party, Maendeleo Chap Chap, which you have said in the past that you plan to make it, grow into a national movement and seek the presidency with it? Aren't you afraid that this move takes it deeper into the shadow of Wiper Party, especially in the Kamba nation?
No, it doesn't, because our party is very popular, and our people follow the aspect of peace and stability. Parties like Wiper that are outdated, other parties that are just for division, for infighting. You have to ask yourself, why is Ukambani so divided, yet we have had a party called Wiper? It's because you look at the leadership of Wiper, it's all about division. It's either their way or no way. It's a cadre of dictatorship. So we want to show people that you can have a real democratic party, a party that is not afraid to say, okay, you go ahead, it is your turn now. Next time it's your turn. Because we know we have a future. The decision we made today is very strategic. I don't get to the position I am by luck. I'm not an idiot. My people are not stupid. We are making a very strategic decision that we are going to show as far as the future, because, as you know, I'm a presidential candidate. And we believe, and we look at the reaction, we are even going to get more people joining Maendeleo Chap Chap, because people want a safe party. They want a party of peace, a party that believes in unity, a party with a leader who looks at the bigger picture, who is not selfish. It's not just about Mutua, it's about this country and where we can take this country.
Before I let you go, what do you say to those who say that you, Maendeleo Chap Chap, were afraid of losing on Thursday?
No, nothing like that. You had, we were ahead. You could hear the Kalonzo Musyoka, the Wiper team crying the whole 1 week, Mutua is going to rig, Mutua is planning to rig, Mutua is using government officials to rig. It's because they knew we were going to win, and they knew that we were in a position to win. But, for them, it's a matter of life and death. And they are willing to sacrifice blood. They are willing to get people beaten up. They are willing to cause chaos for the sake of trying to force a victory. And we say, look, you can win, but you can win in more ways than one. I do not want to see a child of Machakos dead. I don't want to see a mother of Machakos eating tear gas, to use those words, eating tear gas. I do not want to see violence in Machakos. So I said, wait a minute. It's a strategic move. Is to take 10 steps back so that you can take 100 steps forward.
All right.
And it will be up to them catching up with us in the future.
My final question to you, what is your message to the candidate, former Minister Mutua Katuku, and your supporters who are expecting to go by this morning, they were expecting to go to the ballot on Thursday? What do you think?
Our people know that we don't make decisions out of security, and I'm going to tell them there are massive benefits that are going to come out of this move now and in the future, especially in terms of real development for our people. Because, as you know, myself, I don't care much about handouts. I don't care about see what. I want to see our youth employed. I want to see roads completed. I want to see agricultural production improved. I want to see poverty rolled back. I want my people of Machakos and Ukambani to benefit as a result of this move.
Thank you, sir, for having time for us tonight. Governor of the County of Machakos, Dr. Alfred Mutua, they are talking to us on the phone. Let me bring in my panelists in studio. I have with me the Member of Parliament from Mavoko constituency, Patrick Makau. I have also with me his Makueni counterpart joining us via virtually, Dan Manzo, also joining me tonight. Is political and security analyst, Dennis Ndumbi. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me tonight. I want us to take a look at some of the big issues that are coming out of this upcoming by-election in Machakos, things that are having political inclinations nationally, and of course to do with the Ukambani politics. Let me begin with you, Mheshimiwa Makau. Your initial reaction to the latest development that we have seen as you are driving from Masinga, I believe. That's when it was announced that the Maendeleo Chap Chap had withdrawn. What is your reaction to this?
Oh, thank you very much. First, I'll quote a song by, I think, Ken Rogers. that you don't have to fight to be a man, but you live to fight another day. A lot of respect for Governor Mutua. He has alluded that he's withdrawn in line with what the president addressed about willingness to move together. And let me say, from where I sit, Governor Mutua is a believer and trusts opinion polls. And from the opinion polls that have been conducted so far, our party candidate, Agnes Kavintu Mudama, has been emerging tops in all those opinion polls. So, well, let me say I have a lot of respect for the governor if he's actually said it, and I'm yet to hear him say that he is supporting the Wiper candidate openly, because when I listen to him, it's like he's going in circles. I challenge him to come out clearly and say, I am supporting the Wiper candidate now that we have withdrawn from the race.
All right.
Thank you.
Mheshimiwa Manzo, let me get your view from outside the epicenter, that is Machakos. What do you think this means to the people of Machakos?
And clearly, Governor Mutua knew that he was going to lose this by-election. And secondly, he says, in line with the BBI spirit, you know, bringing people together and building bridges, he decided not to fight it out. He has clearly said he didn't want anyone to die out of this, and I can assure Governor Mutua there was not going to be any violence in Machakos, just like as you saw in Western Kenya where there were by-elections. People of Machakos have already made up their mind, first and foremost that they're in Wiper Party, and secondly that they will vote for Kavindu Mudama. So there was not going to be any violence unless somebody now, what we were ready is in the event somebody tried to steal the election as it happened in the Makueni ward by-election Kitisa Kithuki. Anybody attempting to bring money to the people found the people waiting for that particular person and got the wrath of the people for trying to buy an election. So unless somebody was going to buy this election really, and unless somebody was going to provoke the people, it was going to be very peaceful. So, well, it's good what he has done. He was first introduced into politics, electoral politics, by the Wiper Party, the late Mutula Kalonzo Sr. and the Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka. In fact, those days, the Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka funded Mutua's gubernatorial campaigns. And he should be very thankful to Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka not to attempt to bash him as if he has a fixed mind. He's not. He's a very open-minded person, and Governor Mutua knows that he's very welcoming and in the spirit of working together and making sure that people in Kenya no longer fight or lives are not lost in difficult elections or where people sponsor violence. There will never be violence unless Mutua sponsored some. But it was clear that he was already losing, and really there are no excuses. But I thank him for the good act he has taken. Now he needs to communicate clearly to his agents and his supporters that it is time to support the Wiper candidate, and that we want to see them in action so that they actualize. He actualizes what he says. And this move to unite is a very good move for all Kenyans, because in future we need peace during election, and that's the whole spirit of BBI. We must begin practicing it now. Right. Where an election is chaotic, it's likely to be nullified. In fact, it amounts to a non-election and it's a waste of public funds. So the move is welcome, and we're now pleading with all supporters of Wiper, and I'm very sure a very negligible number of the Maendeleo Chap to support
all right.
the Wiper candidate.
We'll get into the nitty-gritties of the presidential ambitions that are coming out of Ukambani later on. But Dennis Ndumbi, let me come to you. Wearing both of your hats as a political and security expert, And seeing what happened in the by-elections in Kabuchai and Matungu and London Ward of the county of Nakuru, where there was violence for all to see, what do you think informed this move, and do you think it will bear fruit?
Thank you very much, Ben, and I'm delighted to be here. First of all, I would like to highlight a critical matter that would touch on democracy. The fact that what is being touted as a spirit of BBI in terms of unity could also be read legally and democratically as what it is that we call guided democracy or managed democracy. The attempt to deny people the right choices and multiple choices that they need to administrate their will in an election. So therefore, it's not something that should be openly praised. In fact, that would exacerbate the fact that there's vote futility, that a lot of Kenyans are thinking that the vote that they cast is not going to count, number one. Number two is that it's adding to what it is that we call voter fatigue. Kenyans are not able to democratically and freely make choices because candidates are being withdrawn, coalitions are being made at the top, technically without considering public participation. And then also, it will add to the complex problem that we have of a frustrated voter who again is complexing the matter of voter apathy. We are seeing low turnouts and all that. So we are likely to have a very agitated voter going into 2022, and of course going into the much touted referendum. And this voter is compounded by many problems. So you need to make voting very easy. You need to make sure that all their choices and whatever it is that they could wish are represented. Right. That is number one. If Matungu is to go as the poster environment for risk and threat, then, but technically Machakos doesn't have any sort of aggressive confrontations, and it's good that from a security perspective, you may see some type of unity with those who are contesting and stabbing each other in Matungu, but we are seeing an affront on laws that govern election offenses, where we are seeing the arrests of UDA election officials, and where Adio was accused of mobilizing vigilantes or goons to batter down Honorable Nixon Correal. So these are concerns that haven't been addressed yet. Right. They are both legal, risk, and security concerns. And these ones again would compound what it is that we are seeing as vote suppression across the country. The women would not want to turn out, vulnerable groups, you're seeing the disabled and whatever it is that there is. The polling stations are becoming more aggressive. Democracy seems to be suspended. So there are grave concerns that IBC should address. Right. The Inspector General of Police should address themselves too. So that then we can be assured that democracy is not suspended, as that we have seen happening before.
Touching on that, Mheshimiwa Makau, would you rather everybody participated in the elections on Thursday? And number two, are you concerned a bit that there could be a number of people who are supporting the Maendeleo Chap candidates who may be a bit disillusioned and might vote against your candidate? Is that a fear, or you're good to go?
Let me start by saying there is saying and doing, and that's why I said by challenging the governor of Machakos that if he really is truthful to his word, that is supporting BBI-aligned parties, and that is Wiper in his case, then let him come out clearly and say, yes, we have withdrawn our candidate, but we are fully behind the Wiper candidate. Now, number two, that I'll put my machinery, the way he had put his machinery to support his candidate, to come up with all his agents now to come and support our candidate. Then we will say, yes, he's genuine in what he's saying. He was not coerced. It was from his own wish that he wanted to support us. But however, let me say, I agree with him. Sometimes insecurity or voter apathy arises from when the people, the citizens of Machakos County, feel that someone is using undue process. Maybe, for example, we have seen county resources being used, we have seen staff, you know, both capital and human resources being used and applied. Sometimes, you know, when services are not offered at the expense of Mwananchi, definitely citizens will arise and might show their anger in different ways.
All right.
But notwithstanding, I'm calling upon people of Machakos now to come out in large numbers on Thursday so that we prove to Kenyans, you know, my community is love-peacing people, and I don't think we like chaos, we don't like fighting. But once we realize someone is taking us for a ride, I'll tell Kenyans, Mukamba is very dangerous when he realizes that you are taking them for a ride, and they don't stop until they are heard. So that's why I'm saying now, right, if there is nobody who is coming, of course, I know there is voter bribery that is being planned, and I have to warn those who are planning to dish money and that kind of gymnastics that we are ready for them, and we will not accept that. All right. Yes.
I want us to take a look at the bigger national political games that might be going on here in this senatorial by-election. Let me come to you, Mheshimiwa Manzo. In Matungu and Kabuchai, we saw national political games where the Amani National Congress was doing everything it can to retain that Matungu seat, and it did. The same thing for Ford Kenya and Kabuchai. There is that alliance that we have seen. It is being called the Sacred Alliance of KANU, Wiper, ANC, and Ford Kenya. We saw that playing out in those by-elections. Are we going to see anything like that in Machakos, or is Machakos purely about them electing their next senator?
You remember when we were starting the campaign for senatorial position for Kavindu, yes, the Honorable Gideon Moi and the Honorable Musalia Davadi and Senator Wetangula and Kalonzo Musyoka came to launch, and the same team went to Western and come to Western. Clearly, you know, that's one of the formations and one of the coalitions for the future in Kenya. And when lions hunt together is when they have a meal. But if a lion goes to buffaloes alone, like the case of Mutua, it is destroyed by buffaloes. Not even buffaloes, even a lion is scared away by baboons. So you know, unity is strength. That's the message I will try to send. And in a democratic space like Kenya has now, you know, coalitions can be formed democratically. And my good friend Itumbi, I've heard him say we could probably be killing democracy if one or two people in Machakos the day after tomorrow feels that the candidate of their choice is not the one being presented. You know, this is still part of democracy. You know, political parties coalescing. I heard Governor Mutua say there was dictatorship in the KANU regime. I want to tell him that President Moi was one of the biggest peacemakers there has ever been. Of course, he received challenges by opposition, as it will be with any head of state or any party, political party in power will be opposed by others. That's democracy. So whatever is happening, whatever Mutua did today, he has not been forced. It's democracy. He knew very well what he was doing was being divisive in Ukambani. The people of Kabuchai and the rest of Western Kenya stood together. ODM, which is has a big presence there, had candidates. And it lost to Mudavadi and lost to Wetangula.
Yes. And
similarly, UDA, who have now tried to show a presence in Machakos, will definitely lose to Wiper. Wiper is the dominant party in Machakos, and even our candidate by ourselves, on our own merit, is able to move votes and is able to impress people in a very big way. And you know now, we are promoting women also to come into power, because they are very good managers and they don't lie as the male politicians do. So Mutua must admit that although he's been attempting to be on the side of Raila Odinga, he's still welcome home in Wiper and in Ukambani, just like the prodigal son. The sons who have been with Kalonzo Musyoka will welcome him, will not fight him, and he's one of us. And I believe when Kalonzo Musyoka is in power, he will not leave Mutua out. He will take care of him and he will protect him.
All right.
As his political child.
Let me go to Mheshimiwa Makau before I come to you, Dennis. Picking from where Mheshimiwa Manzo left, speaking about the Wiper candidate, there has been some controversy between your party leader, former Vice President Kalonzo Musyoka, and the UDA chairman, Johnston Muthama, former Machakos senator, because of the identity of the Wiper candidate, and Muthama said that Wiper hit below the belt. What is your view on that?
Maybe it's no doubt. Governor Mutua knows that Wiper is the biggest, the largest party in Ukambani. And memory lane, 2013, Governor Mutua was picked from the position of a government spokesperson, and he came to run on Wiper ticket. It was so easy, it was so cheap, he never spent any money, because the party has goodwill. And he got it so easily without spending any money. Now, when you say that, you know...
But the party lost in 2017 to CCU, right? In the senatorial seat.
Remember, CCU was in NASA. And remember, 2017, we did not have... we had Muthama, Senator Muthama, as a candidate for Wiper, but he withdrew 3 or 2 weeks to elections. So we had to run for someone, one Kala Musyoka, to run for Senate.
Yes.
Within 3 weeks, and you know, the late Kabaka was in CCU, and CCU was in NASA. So obviously, CCU was campaigning using my party leader's name and, of course, Raila's. And now that this gentleman had not been in the market or was not known, he gathered more than 187 votes. Actually, he lost to Kabaka by less than 6,000 votes.
Right.
That tells you it's not that Wiper lost, but Muthama jilted the party. That's why we did not clinch it. Otherwise, had we had a month or 2 months like now, I can tell you we'll have a Wiper senator in Machakos. However, I think it's important for everybody to know that Muthama, that Mutua, they were all in Wiper. And I think as a goodwill ambassador, I'll tell them they're still our sons. And my party leaders come out and said he has nothing personal against Muthama, against Mutua. And today should be an opportune time for Mutua to say, yeah, let me go back home. And I can tell him he's more than welcome in this party.
All right.
It's a high time maybe he wound up chop and joined Wiper. He has better chances here. And now he can pursue his presidential ambition while in Wiper.
Well, we'll wait to see where these talks lead us to. Dennis Ndumbi. I want us to talk about the UDA, because now with the withdrawal of the Maendeleo Chap candidates, it will be a two-horse race, pundits say, between the Wiper candidate and the UDA candidate. I want us to talk about UDA, which has been making inroads in several of these by-elections, trying to, test the waters, so to speak. What we have seen today, the withdrawal of the Maendeleo Chap candidate, is it a scheme aimed at dealing a deadly blow to UDA in the home turf of the UDA chairman, that is Johnston Muthama?
Thank you very much. That's a very important question. First of all, let me address the moral question that is lingering in Machakos. I think if Wiper looked at themselves in the mirror and decided that this campaign was going to be moral, they would have picked somebody else other than Kavindu. They wouldn't split a husband and a wife father. If they really thought that they are popular within the machinani, they would have gone for anybody else and figured out whether they were going to win or not. But of course, they are riding on the popularity and the misery of Senator Mudama. And from a moral perspective, it's not right. From a legal perspective, well, you can do anything you want. But either way, they'll create and it will leave a bad taste in the mouth of the Kamba nation that holds the family at a very, very high standard. That's the moral question that I wanted to answer. Now, if you want to compare Wiper and UDA, is really perhaps comparing an elephant and something else. And let me put that into context. Wiper is largely a regional party, and UDA has taken the national approach. So as UDA, they don't have to win the election in Ukambani. What they need to do is what you said, make inroads. President Uhuru Kenyatta got a 17% in the last election. And NASA combined, I think, got about 383 votes and thereabout. So what UDA needs as a national party is to get between 17 and 30%, and they will have a national threshold that they didn't have before. So we need to remember a critical fact, that UDA is national and Wiper is regional. And I think it's important for Wiper to relook at its political strategy and not take the Kamba nation to the same dead river that they took them before. Because we can see a formation again of the last dead and futile formation that they did. We've seen Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka saying that he was deceived and many things, but we are seeing the same coalitions, the same unity, as though you are in a bad marriage and it was ugly, it was terrible, and there you are again in public saying that something would work. I would advise Wiper that they possibly need to shake hands with UDA so that UDA can give them a national approach. Sometimes elections like these, mini polls, yes, you're not looking at winning, you're looking at making national inroads. Kalonzo Musyoka has declared that he wants presidency. You can't have presidency by winning a senatorial seat in Ukambani land. You want presidency because you can win in Turkana, you can win in Nyanza, you can win in many places, you can win in Busia, and we are seeing the deputy president having the majority favor nationwide. So it's very hard to compare these two because statistically, UDA is, even though it's absolutely young, it's a new entrance, the new baby on the block, is far away, has a national appeal, more than Wiper. And I think it's important for them not just to look at clamping and hammering Mudama, you know, getting a score even, and saying, you know, we showed you we are the ones. I think there's need to look further and notice that there's a referendum coming, and there's 2022 coming, and there's also the future of the people of Ukambani, that they don't need to be led astray again. And again, I'm going to say this, apathy is real in Ukambani, and that needs to be medicated.
All right.
Thank
you. Do you agree, Mheshimiwa Makao?
Yeah, before I forget, you know, Ndumbi, I thought to introduce him as a security person, but now I am seeing some dwarfism.
He's a scholar of political...
Yeah, yes, some dwarfism in the political matters, because you cannot call Wiper a regional party. Yet, in the National Assembly of Kenya, in the Parliament of Kenya, we are the third largest party, political party. So when you say it's a regional party, I don't understand you. One, we have members of parliament across Kenya. And number two, when you talk of UDA, UDA is a bubble that keeps on punching itself. You cannot even call it a party. It's on trial basis. And when you say Wiper should not have gone for Agnes Kawindu Mudama, then I think we don't agree on that, because Agnes Kawindu Mudama, as a person, ran 2017 on a Jubilee ticket as a woman rep Machakos County, and she emerged a strong second. So how is it then, when she comes to Wiper, we say it's like we are intruding into people's families? Now, let me tell you one thing. The candidate of Chap Chap, 2017, ran on a ticket, I think it was TPP, and now he's in Chap Chap. The gentleman who is running UDA was running on independent and went to UDA. Now, Agnes Kavin Mudama ran on Jubilee. Now she's in Wiper. She came to Wiper like another person. And after vetting and any mechanism we used, she emerged tops. And that's why she was given the ticket to run. I mean, I don't agree with people when you say it's like Agnes Kavindu Mudama, I'm sorry to say, she could be separated or something, but does not mean that she's not a Kenyan who is worthy being a candidate for senatorial race in Machakos. She is up to the task, and I can assure you, if you listen to her, she's qualified.
Point of return.
And I think it's important. Number two, Wiper is not, it's like any other party in this country, is and out looking for coalitions that with the people, like-minded people. For example, you heard about the Sacred Coalition that was formed recently. And that's not the beginning of it. As the year progresses, maybe you will see more coalitions, and I can tell you, Wiper will be in front and to be championing.
Dennis, let me give you 30 seconds right of reply before I go to
I think Mheshimiwa would need some time to repent, because he knows that they have run the Machakos campaign on the note and the platform to injure Senator Mudama. And Honorable Kalonzo has been heard saying about the fact of, mentioning family matters even in public. So it's not moral. The platform that Wiper is running, the Machakos senatorial campaign, is immoral, but it is still legal. And I think there's a point to apologize to Senator Mudama for getting into his family matters. And I want to say this, the last election they ran on a platform of NASA. So there is no time that you can give Wiper the credit of running an election independently. Even if you have members in parliament, still, you joined because you are a regional hegemony. And I think we need to appreciate that. If you deny that, then from a political science perspective, it is then a futile approach to politics.
Mheshimiwa Manzo, two questions for you. What is your take on the issue that Dennis Ndumbi is raising here of the UDA challenge to Wiper? And number two, do you think there's
only one
moral
MCA in the whole country?
Yes.
Wiper has an MP in Mombasa, an MP in Tana River, in Kisii, Borabu, Honorable Momanyi, even this is his second term in parliament on Wiper ticket. So I think he should stop looking down upon us. The truth of the matter is we are third biggest party in the House, and UDA has a lot of bitterness. They just need to fresh up a bit and know that this is politics. It's not child play. And when you go into politics, you are bound to win or lose. And if you lose, you accept it and you live to fight another day. So my very good friend, Dennis Etumbe, I've known him for many, many years. I'm sure he's trying to fight for UDA. We know the history. We have no problem with Senator Mudama. He's our friend. When Kavindu ran on Jubilee, Senator Mudama did not say it was a family matter. So I think it would be very good for Senator Mudama's family when Kavindu becomes a senator. I really don't see anything wrong with that or anything bad about it or anything suspicious about it. It's a blessing to that family. And I believe, as Kavindu herself stated, she has been sharpened politically by Mudama, who is a colleague, a Hali, and he's the father of our children. So she has a right as a Kenyan to vie for whatever seat she wishes to vie. We can't really deny her that opportunity if she presents herself as she did to Wiper Party and said, I want to run in this party. And I have blessings from my former party, Jubilee. Really, I don't really see anything wrong with that. So, and I'm sure it is going to be sorted out in a day or two, and the Mudama family will be celebrating that Kavindu is senator. So it's really nothing to worry about Itumbi. And the move by Governor Mutua is not really one of cowardice, but is one of reality. When everyone assesses their situation, and a wise person changes his mind. And I believe if we all unite, as we are beginning to unite now, Kenya is going to be strong. We will not have fights, as you saw in Kabuchai. We want Kenyans to feel not threatened when they go to vote, and not to be scared, and not to fear any injury, and to vote and happily go home and wait for their servant who they have elected to serve them.
All right. I want us to switch gears a bit and talk about the place of Ukambani in the general picture that is Kenyan politics. Mheshimiwa Makau, if I can begin with you. We have seen 3 different individuals express their ambitions to vie for the top seat in this country. That is, of course, the Wiper party leader, Kalonzo Musyoka, the Machakos governor, Dr. Alfred Mutua, and the Makueni governor, Professor Kivutha Kibwana. Are we seeing a situation where Ukambani is now being faced with the problem, to use a cliche again, that the Western Kenya region has been facing, whereby they cannot seem to vote as a bloc? Not to say that that is a bad thing, but are you seeing yourself going into 2022? Are you seeing yourself going into 2022 with a fractioned political stand as a political class from where you sit?
No. As a matter of fact, you know, constitutionally, a governor can only run 2 terms. And when you look at Machakos, Governor Mutua has run the 2 terms, so is Governor Kivutha Kibwana. And I want to tell you, every politician is ambitious by nature. If you're a true politician, you must have ambition. And it is a democratic right for them to want to be what they want to be in future. And let me just take you out of Ukambani, go to the coast region. So is Kilifi, Governor Kingi. So is Mombasa, Governor Joho. He's saying that he wants to be president on a ODM ticket. Governor Kingi wants to form a party that is befitting coastal people. And so is everywhere where there is a 2-term governor. They have something they are doing, something they are cooking. And I am sure the 2 governors in Ukambani are looking for a way maybe to quench their ambition. But let me say that it's still time.
Remember, as you answer this, Mheshimiwa, remember the 2 governors used to be under the Wiper fold at some point.
Kivutha is still, the Governor Makueni on a Wiper ticket, he is still.
Right?
Yeah. Let me tell you one thing. I don't know why people think that just because these 2 governors want to be something, meaning that it means that the combination is fighting. No. In fact, it shows you the leader, who is Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, has a lot of a free hand, gives a free hand to everybody to do what they want to do. And I am sure what Governor Mutua did today, I give him hats off, because that's a way of, as Honorable Manzo has said, is not a sign of cowardice, but as he clearly said that it's a retreat. I hope he's going to solve such, and if he finds in unity, his ambitions can be realized, is welcome. Actually, I welcome him to come. So is Governor Kivutha Kibwana. It is important for us to work as a nation, and obviously, I'm sure even Western, I have seen them come together, and I think people are realizing that unity is everything. To bargain anything in terms of the national cake, in terms of the presidency, in terms of what is available for all nations.
All right.
So I can say Ukambani nation is just in the same wavelength like any other community of this country.
Dennis, is Kalonzo Musyoka still the man to beat in Ukambani? And what is your prediction in terms of where the Kamba politics fit in the national picture?
Thank you very much, Ben. I think that the political hegemony in the Kamba nation is completely out of touch with the realities on the ground. And sometimes you can dislike somebody for telling the truth, but let me give them unsolicited advice. Is that, first of all, you cannot term the Kamba nation as getting to vote as a bloc, because they are segmented approaches. You have the interest of the women, you have the interest of the youth, and then you have the socio-economic interest, and then you have the political hegemony at the end of the day. When you look at Wiper in itself and you ask them, what is your political ideology? What are your plans for the next 30 years? What have been your plans for the last 15 so years that you've been there? They will not point you to a particular gain or to a particular ideology at the end of the day. And I think the truth of the fact is that when you see the division, the interest thereabout of everybody wanting to be the president, when you see how they get to choose their political candidates, then you know they are not just out of touch, but it is possible that the ground may have shifted from them. And I think when you receive knowledge like this, it is not time for you to point fingers or throw blows. I think it's time to call yourself into a meeting and point out to the reality thereabout. And I have pointed out to a matter. I said the same unity that alienated the Kamba nation is the same unity that they are purporting to. Kalonzo Musyoka is not driving himself. He's still looming around State House and looking for endorsements and thereabout. And it's unfortunate to see that level of political capital, seeking for mercy from the head of state. And it's important that the executive delineates itself and stops playing the role of the IBC or the referee or the adjudicator. I think it is a time the Kamba nation joins itself together and looks for a national approach and joins even a strong doctrine like the one that UDA has. By the way, I'm not a member of UDA, I'm from the Agano Party of Kenya. But when you see an ideology that touches the base, you'd want to join those people, not technically because you have your own ideas, because the ideas that can join a nation. But I need to say this in closing. It is futile for you to score a thief that we are going to see Senator Mudama hurt, we are going to teach him a lesson. That again disenfranchises your voter base. The Kamba people need services. The Kamba people need to be tied back to the national grid. The Kamba people want to feel that they are part of Kenya. They want to feel that they will no longer be misled. And I think it's important for Wiper in itself. Otherwise, we are looking at UDA taking a big chunk of the voter base in Ukambani land. And I think we have to investigate and interrogate the percentage that is going to be yanked off from Wiper in the coming senatorial elections.
All right, as we wind up, Mheshimiwa Manzo, in 2007, I'm talking about your party, your party leader, Kalonzo Musyoka, went it alone with ODM Kenya. Then in 2013, it was the Coalition for Reforms and Democracy Code as Raila Odinga's running mate. In 2017, again, he was Odinga's running mate in the National Super Alliance, NASA. This time, where is he taking the Kamba nation, if indeed he is still the so-called kingpin of the Ukambani region?
Well, I think, and I am sure, that the Honorable Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka is going to run for president in 2022. That's what we have decided as a party, and that's what we have decided as a people. Charity begins at home. The politics in Kenya, the reality is that they are still tribal, they are still regional. It is very difficult for Dennis Itumbe to come from Embu. And all of a sudden, without
Dumbe. If you study my name is Kamba, by the way.
Become the president of Kenya. That would be another century, not this century. And therefore, charity begins at home, and Kalonzo Musyoka has to begin at home before he's able to go to other places. And he's going to run for president. That I've heard my good friend Dennis is really, has misunderstood some of the things and has got very little idea of what Wiper is. He knows I'm a founder member, and I am very key. We have a manifesto. We have a political party manifesto, and he knows how all these political party manifestos are are developed. They know the assistance they get from experts, and they are very well founded, including the one of Jubilee and even the one of ODM. All of them, they have a common base, and he knows it very well. So the purpose of a political party is to win elections and to form government. There's no other purpose. It is not formed by bitterness. It is not formed because you feel like the boss has offended you. It's not formed because you are looking for sympathy, like the case of UDA. And it is them who need to reorganize, although he says he's from Magano party. It is UDA has to face competition. If it is trashed, people always change their political parties. If one is free to move from one party to another, whatever time, whatever they can score the political intention. The whole purpose is to serve Kenyans, is to develop Kenyans. I've heard Mutua talk of development. I've heard him talk about it the last 8 years. Machakos County has a lot of issues of development. When he started, he told us about some skyscrapers and some new city. It's still not there up to today. Because for you to do a new city, there are certain things you must do. And I don't think, although he means well with his dreams, the dreams have not yet come true. And the whole idea is for those who to dream, to make sure that their dream comes true. And everybody has a dream, including Wiper. And this time around, with the coalitions before or after election, I am sure we'll form government.
All right. Mheshimiwa Manzo, now that you mentioned about the Wiper Party, and just to tell you, and I'm sure you can't see who is in studio, it's Dennis Ndumbi, not Dennis Itumbi. It's Dennis Ndumbi. And there's a very famous story that you ran away with the ODM Kenya certificate. Is that story real, or is it some fiction?
No. What happened is when we were forming ODM Kenya, the Orange team was unable to form a party because ODM was already gone with Imanyara. Right. And I was assigned as a lawyer and as a member and as a supporter to use all the wits I had to get ODM Kenya registered. So I got it registered, but as soon as I registered it, they decided I'm not a member and I'm not a player at all. Right. And that's how we ended up with the Oranges splitting. And later on, we put the Oranges together in NASA.
All right.
So I'm the one who registered the party, and even I was taken to court. Right. And the court declared that I was the chairman of the party. They were not aware of any other chairman, and I was the one to issue the nomination certificates. And therefore, I nominated Kalonzo to run in ODM Kenya that time with my signature. And therefore, the rest now became history. I have no regrets having formed the Orange Party. And God used me for a specific purpose that time. And it has become part of the history of the politics of Kenya. And that's how politics, that's how politics work.
All right.
His wisdom, his trickery.
So that story is indeed true.
Everything on the book. At that particular time, the presidential candidate was Kalonzo Musyoka. But so when Raila Odinga turned the tables, we also turned the tables, which is normal in politics.
Mheshimiwa Makau, let me get your final thoughts, and I'll ask you this. There has been this proposal that Raila Odinga, and not Raila Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka and the Deputy President, William Ruto, can work together in 2022. Is it viable? Very quickly.
First, allow me, Ndumbi seems to have issues with Wiper, but very quickly, I hope I'll convince him as we leave this studio. One, Wiper is a national party, and NASA never made Wiper better because we were equal partners, ANC, Ford Kenya, and ODM. The four of those parties formed NASA plus other small parties. Now, what Wiper gained in terms of MPs, MCAs, senators, governors was because they believed in the Wiper manifesto. And the ones who went to ODM had their own reasons. Now, for you to say that my party leader goes to State House to ask for favors or something, now it means that you are not a believer of handshake. You know, the handshake became with Raila Odinga. And of course, my party leader went again. And of course, he was heeding to the president's call for unity. and he called all the leaders, all political leaders in this country. And of course, Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka is one of the biggest leaders in this country. Of course, he's the front runner of the presidential candidate in this country. All right. So I will want to persuade you that we have nothing personal against Mulama, and he's welcome to come back home, and that on Thursday our candidate is going to win. All right. And issues of Ruto working with Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka is no here, no there. Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka is out to be the sole president. Thank you. Presidential candidate in 2022. And we call upon Ruto to support Kalonzo. And in fact, he's more experienced. All right. He's more experienced. And I think he stands out to be the best man as a president of this country.
And your constituency, Mavoko, is one of the biggest in population. Are you planning to run for the governorship of Machakos?
Not even largest. It's the most cosmopolitan, and I think that is why when we are asking for services, you know, this is a town like Nairobi, and
is that a yes or no?
As I told you, politicians must be ambitious, and I'm very ambitious for that matter. So when that time comes, Ben, I'll come to the studio and I'll Dennis, come out clearly.
Yes.
Give me your final thoughts very quickly.
Thank you very much. And I think giving political advice to my colleagues in Wiper may have wounded their ego, but they looked for something fractured in Machakos. They took advantage of it. Also, they are looking for something to fracture between the handshake of Raila and the president. And Kalonzo Musyoka has been known to be saying, if you don't want this, leave so that I can also shake hands. So I think you cannot, you know, be an opportunist politically to look for certain advantages. I think, Wiper, it is time that you develop your ideology, perhaps like the hustler narrative or any other, that will be known nationally. And at the end of the day, don't throw away the chance of working with the deputy president because you're looking for leadership, and it looks like that's where it's going.
Thank you. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming to studio and sharing your thoughts with us tonight as we look out to that senatorial by-election in Machakos on Thursday. Dennis Ndumbi, political and security analyst. Thank you, sir. Patrick Makau, Member of Parliament for Mavoko, and the Member of Parliament for Makueni, Dan Manzo. Thank you so much for joining us. We will be covering the senatorial by-election in Machakos on Thursday in the way only we can. Our team will be on the ground, is already on the ground, so be sure to stand by for that. So as we leave it on Newsline this Tuesday night, the 16th day of March 2021, for all of us here on the broadcast. We appreciate the privilege of your time tonight. Thank you for watching. Our sign language interpreter tonight was Beresha Owiti. I am Ben Kitili. Good night from Nairobi.